Hello everybody, it's Martin Rooney and we are live with the next big idea. And as you can see today, this big idea episode is going to be a high quality production of incredible artwork produced by yours truly. And as you can see right there, I am in a little vacation capital of the world. This is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I went to college in South Carolina, and this would be a place we would frequent with some of my fellow students a few decades ago, but now I am here for the next few days with my family. Now that's not the big idea of this episode, but I will tell you this. There has to be a period of time where you take a step back, you relax, you reflect, and then you take aim on where you want to go next. And that's what I've been doing for the last few days, because as you've seen on the big idea, every week I am somewhere. Next week I'll be coming at you from Germany. The week after that, Rhode Island. The week after that, back in Chicago. But right now, I have been sitting back, focused on what I need to do to move forward. And during that, I came up with a new big idea, and that big idea is coming to you today. So here's how, if you have not been on the big idea before, if you are new to Martin Rooney's big idea, every week I try to distill out of my experiences some kind of new big idea. Every week I try to get something that just crystallizes for me, that takes me to another level, makes me better, but that I can give to someone else to make them better as well. And I believe that I have that idea for you this week, guaranteed, as the crowd is starting to form, behind to see what's going on here. Now, before we go into that, this is Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. This is the ocean, the beach, and it's pretty amazing. And today, for about the third or fourth week in a row on the big idea, I am sweating already, and I have not even started. It is hot, the sun is hot, but that should remind you of an incredible strength of human beings. That should remind you of something really powerful about our species. And what is that? That we have the ability to adapt. One of the reasons that we rule this rock, one of the reasons that human beings can do what they do, is because we have the ability to adapt. I have been to some of the coldest places on earth, and there are people there. I have been at high altitudes, low altitudes, hot places, and there are people always there. But you don't see the same species of other animals on that planet there. But no, humans, we have the ability to adapt. That's why the dinosaurs aren't here. Man, you raise it a couple degrees or decrease it a couple degrees, they're in big trouble. But us, we can survive. We are survivors because we can adapt. But adaptation is our greatest strength, and adaptation can also be one of our greatest weaknesses as a species today. And that brings me to the big idea. What makes us unique? So, what is the big idea? And as you can see from my artwork, this is supposed to be a little light bulb going on right there. If we got it,
Martin.
Yeah. We'll even change a little scenery right there. I like the Ferris wheel behind right there. And then I can see, so we're getting you away from the ice cream parlor, which actually will go along with the big idea. But what's the big idea? This week, and this is powerful for everybody listening, and I try to give powerful ideas. This week, when I was sitting at the beach, I watched people. I watched our amazing species, and that's where the idea came from. I watched people get up early and go run, and then I watched people so out of shape and overweight they couldn't even walk. I watched people cracking their first alcoholic beverage by 9 a.m., and then I also watched somebody have a healthy smoothie at the same time. I watched children sitting, just playing on technology, and then I watched kids running and playing maybe like they were supposed to. And that's when the idea hit me. That you can get used to anything. Did you hear that right there? Because I'm going to repeat that. You can get used to anything. And whatever you tell me you're used to, whatever you show me you're used to, I'll tell you what you've been doing for a long time, and I'll tell you where you're going. Now, see, you might not want to hear that one, but hey, if you've been eating bad food for a long time, you're getting no sleep for a long time, you don't exercise and move for a long time, if that's what you're used to, then I can tell you where you're going. Just like the converse. So I can tell you right now, hey, if you are used to exercising, if you're used to getting enough sleep, if you're used to working hard, if you're used to having a positive mindset, then I can tell you where you're going too. But the big idea of the week is what you are used to What you are used to will tell me what you've been doing, and it'll tell me where you're going. Now, that's a big idea, but I want to take it even further, because remember, I'm not just here to tell you either problems or issues. I'm here to give you solutions. I'm here to give you how to work with that big idea, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. So when I'm working on a big idea, and I'm already sweating again. When I'm working on a big idea, what I do is I play with that. I let my brain marinate in it. I massage that big idea to see where we're at. And I ask questions. And what are some of the best questions? You gotta ask what, you gotta ask how, you gotta ask where, you gotta ask why. And if you ask those questions and play with that idea, that's where the answers for the big idea comes from. So, the what this week, the what is you can get used to anything, but what you're used to will tell me where you've been and where you're going for everybody joining us right now. But now, I'm gonna take it a little further. And now, where I just said, look at that, we got some artwork there. So, hey, some stuff is new, but some stuff is the stuff that you get really used to. And that is our what right now. So I'm gonna ask you right now to make that decision right there. What are you used to right now? And then what are you, what is something that you've been doing for a long time, and you have to ask yourself today, is that taking you where you wanna go? Because all the answers will be there. Now, to go to the next one, because see, just to tell you the what, that might not be much. Now this one, hey, you got to take a good look. Now what does that look like to you? Because I was trying to work there. That's supposed to be a brain. So that's supposed to be a brain, and that's where the big idea happens, guys. But it's also where you get used to things. Whether you want to say your brain and your nervous system, here's an idea that we were talking about. And a child is like the tabula rasa. A child, when they're born, whether you want to go nature or nurture, most of the habits, most of the things you get used to are given to us. And I'll make you this challenge right now, because I see it with my kids all the time. My kids, they don't drink soda. So you give them a little bit of soda, they make this horrible face. You give a kid a taste of coffee, they make a horrible face. You get a kid around cigarette smoke for the first time, they're gonna make a terrible face, right? And that tells me that anybody that does those things on a regular basis, anybody that got used to those things, that person had to do that for a long, long period of time. That's not natural. That's something you got yourself used to that definitely took you a period of time to do. Now, there's other things that you get used to that sometimes goes away. See, a little kid is used to running around. A little kid wants to play. A little kid wants to be happy all the time. But sometimes, as we get older, we get rid of the things we get used to too, that maybe that isn't a good idea as well. So we're gonna play with that, but where it happens is inside your brain, right? And I wanna make sure that everybody understands that, because that's gonna give you the keys to unlocking. If you have any bad habits that you're used to right now, you can get rid of those. You can get rid of those, and we're gonna open it up for discussion at the end. So I'm throwing this right out there right now. Hey, anybody that's listening from around the world, right where you're coming in from, because we're gonna give you a shout out. So right where you're coming in from around the world, because it's always interesting to me to see who we have and how many people around the world we are reaching with these Facebook Lives, which I think is really, really great. But I also want you to throw in there right now. Here's the idea I want for the end that we're gonna go over. Hey, what's something you're used to right now that's good, that was hard to get used to, right? So listen good. What was something that was really hard to get used to that's helping you, and how did you do it? Because I want everybody to benefit. It's not just my ideas, but there could be great ideas that you have, great things that you've done that you could help somebody out with right now that's having the same problems you did. So anything right now that is something that you overcame, or anything that you've got a good habit now that you didn't have before, tell us what it is and give us the secrets how to do it. So next question. So we've got the what, the where. Now, check it out. I'm trying to do these. The how. And hey guys, we got Hatsolo Hatunen from Finland behind the camera right now. And how? How do you make something, how do you get used to something? Hey, it's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. Check it out. How you get used to something? You spend a lot of time on it. 2 o'clock, that's when the big idea runs. And then you got to put a lot of effort into it, right? These arms don't happen by accident. You're going to put a lot of effort into it. So the how you do something, hey, it's pretty simple. You see how we're uncovering this first thing? Hey, when you get used to something, you get used to something in your brain. So that should get you excited, because that means it's something you can change. But it's where you spend your time. So ask yourself, where are you spending your time? Where are you spending your time right now? So think about it. Hey, if you smoke, hey, you spend a lot of time figuring out how to do that. You probably also spend a lot of money and effort on doing that. Hey, if you don't work out, that's as much as spending time on figuring out how to work out. Hey, if you spend your time, if you're spending tons of time and effort on Netflix and you're just going to sleep really, really late and not getting enough rest, guys, you're used to something. You're used to a certain behavior, but it doesn't mean it's the right behavior. So now we have to start questioning ourselves. Hey, we know how we did it, but now we got to start going to the next thing. And I'll give you this example of the how and the why. We came up with this one. You know this song, da 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 da, and then they go tequila. Now, I use this as my ultimate example for what people can get used to. Guys, no matter what, there may be beer aficionados, there may be whiskey aficionados, but guys, tequila's pretty gross for anybody that's tried it. And if you're under 18 listening to, or 21 right now listening to this, if you're under 21, hey, you don't even want to know what that is. But guys, the lime, the salt, guys, don't you see through it? It's so horrible, and everybody does it and goes, ah, and it's like the worst thing you ever had. Guys, but we still force ourselves to get used to things. So do you see the power of our ability to get used to something that's like actually like really horrible? So if you can do that, there's nothing you can't get yourself used to with enough time and effort, but we want you doing it for the good things. And that brings us to, I don't know if you guys know this Jedi, but this is obviously Yoda. I'm working on my artwork right there. And I don't know if you know, but he's a strong supporter of TFW, as you can see with Yoda right there. And that, what we're getting to, is the why. See, you got to ask yourself, just like Yoda would ask you, he would say, you got to choose wisely, right? Yoda would say, there is no try. You're either doing it or you're not doing it. So if you know there's stuff that you could do healthier, if you know there's stuff that you should be doing, guys, don't talk about trying about it, do something about it, right? But choose wisely, because your habits, they make you. Like your habits, what you get used to will be what you become. And I think ultimately, I wanted you to really take a look today on, hey, what are some of the things you're used to? Are you staying up too late? Are you not getting 8 hours of sleep? Are you not eating right? Are you not exercising? That means you're used to that. But that doesn't mean you can't change it. With a little bit of effort, right? And a couple of small steps over time, anything can change. What I think is some of the most exciting stuff, or the most exciting news I have. And if you see the common thread that I go over on all the big ideas, if you look back on last week from the vicious cycle, if you look other weeks ahead of that, all of these things, it's your turn to attack and adapt. But you have to take a look at what you're doing, and then you got to take the first step to do something about it. But ultimately, hey guys, you got a choice. You got a choice, right? Hey, you can come to the beach and you can sit on the beach. You can come to the beach and you can exercise. You can come to the beach and you can read a book. You can come to the beach and bury yourself in information that doesn't help you out. You can eat the wrong foods. You can eat the right foods. All of these things are incredibly easy to get used to. It's just, you got to decide which one you're doing and choose wisely, which brings us to our last slide right there. And now that we've gotten you to it,
people are loving the artwork.
yeah, the artwork. This took me. Hey, these will be on sale after this one. Anybody, I think they'll be coming dirt cheap. But now the when, right? Hey, have you heard use it or lose it? That's right. But I want to add a new one to it. Ready? Use it and lose it. A little Training for Warriors saying, a little Rooney rule right there. You can use it or lose it. So right now, guys, if your muscles, if you're not using them, you could be losing them right now. Hey, but guys, you could exercise and lose that gut, right? So like you could use it and lose it too. So what's the bad habit you have? Then you could figure out something you need to be getting used to. You see that word? So like, guys, this is the big challenge today, what I wanted everybody to go over. So what is the when? What's the when? It's right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't say I'll get it tomorrow or that's when I'll start. Because you know what? That's the place where all the dreams are that never happened. You know where all the dreams are that never happened? You know where all the things are that everybody promised themselves they never did? It's tomorrow. That's when that is. You need to start right now. So today, right now, here's what I would like you to do for me, and then we're gonna give some shout outs to everybody out there. What is some kind of thing that you're either used to that you need to get rid of? Could be staying up late, could be drinking soda, could be smoking, could be not exercising. And what's one thing you could do right now to start breaking that chain? What's one thing right now that you could start getting used to, just with a small step, that could start taking you in the right direction. That should be something you write down, and the best way you could thank me is not by writing in there in the thread right now. The best way you can thank me is by doing something about it and changing your life, which is only going to help somebody else's life get better too. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to some shout outs right now for the big idea, see what not only everybody thought. So guys, if you liked it and you had something to say, I will be writing you back in a few minutes when we call off this thing. But what I'm looking for right now as we go through this is, did anybody have something that was tough that they overcame, that you could have a little secret that could help somebody out that might be going through the same thing as you? Because remember what we talked about, when everybody shares, everybody wins. So Hatzola's gonna give it out. Let's see what we got right now.
Happy D was telling about that he had to get used to public speaking.
So hey guys, hey, whether you're in business, if you're a fitness person and you gotta get used to public speaking, or you gotta get used to sales, you know what people always ask me, they'll say, hey, Martin, how did you do it? You know how I did it? I gave a lot of free speeches a couple days a week for about 10 years. That's how you get good at something. You gotta take that small step and you gotta dive in and do it. And I'll tell you this right now too, I was not good at it in the beginning, just like I was not good at Facebook Lives, which I think I'm getting better because I'm putting in my time on it, right? Time and effort. Boom. That's what you got to put in all the time. Not on the tequila. You got to put it in on the Facebook Live. Give me another one.
Kale was one.
Oh, kale. Yeah, so there's a good one. So guys, hey, kale. I'll say this, like kale is hard to get used to, but I actually enjoy kale now. If I had a choice between, if I really had a choice between lettuce and kale, I would go with the kale, but you got to see how it's prepared, right? Hey, sometimes if you've had it broiled, that's really hard to prep it, but I really enjoy it that way. But what I would say is a kale salad, knowing it's good for you isn't enough. You got to start doing it until it becomes something you get used to. Because like I said before, guys, if you can get used to shots on Friday night, you can get used to a kale salad, I guarantee. And everybody should be having a kale salad more than that. Give me another one. I like deadlifts. Hey, people could say, hey, I might be nervous because I'm afraid I'm gonna get hurt. Hey, deadlifts, man, I'm sore the next day, and I do it. But guys, you can get used to it, guaranteed. So that's an easy one. So, and what's the best way to get used to it? Energy and time. So today is leg day in Training for Warriors around the world. So guys, put some weight on the bar, bend down and pick it up, preferably with good form. But that is the one way you could start right now. Run out of your house right now when this ends. Go find somebody that has a bar, put a lot of weight on it, pick it up.
There was also like the discipline and honesty.
Okay, hey, now that one, what we talked about before, guys, I talked about a lot of physical things, but I will say this, if we go back to this incredible drawing and accurate too.
Wow,
like
people are getting crazy.
Yeah.
Keep going, Rooney.
Yeah, as you can see, very accurate drawing of the brain, cerebellum right here, frontal lobe, got it all in there. But guys, here's where also, it's not just where your actions happen, it's also where your attitude happens too. Did you hear that? Your attitude, your discipline, your hard work, your positivity, these are all things you either get used to or not too. And I will say this, one great way to do it is spend time around people that have it. So if you're hanging with a bunch of negative people, the odds are you're gonna be negative. Just like if you're hanging with a bunch of people that are eating wrong. So you wanna take the first step, hey, surround yourselves with the right people, and that's gonna help you develop the attitude and the actions that you need to get used to succeed. Give me another one.
Rob from Strong Island.
Okay.
Had to get used for balancing work and family.
Hey, boom. And hey, Rob. And guys, if you ever check out Rob DeSillis, hey, he does some amazing stuff with his family in particular, nationwide, his son right there. So hey, give him a shout out, Rob. Tell him I was talking about him. But guys, the balance is one of the most difficult things. And I know that. That's why I'm here right now. So as soon as I get off of this, the rest of the day is going to be spent with my family in balance. Because I travel a lot, I got to also have time for them. And guys, I can't say that it's ever easy, but I will say that you've got to get used to shutting things off, shutting it down, and doing the right things too, which is really, really important. So great one right there, Rob. And I wish I had the ultimate answer for that, which is difficult.
Yeah, I think it's about finding yourself own way also.
Yeah, which way works best for you. But hey, we can get used to not spending time with them. I don't think that's the answer. You got to get used to being around them too.
Do you have any your personal story, like what was really tough for you, like you had to get used to something?
Absolutely. Well, hey, one thing that I would say that I already hinted at it before, one thing that was really tough for me, guys, was sales, meaning like when I worked in the clubs and man, I had to be the guy that was like doing sales. I was the worst. I couldn't ask anybody, and the big switch for me was I had to decide, do I believe in fitness? Do I believe in exercise and how it can help people? And the minute that happened, I got got so used to it that it became something that, just like right now, guys, I'm trying to sell everybody on fitness. I'm trying to sell everybody on being healthier. I'm trying to sell everybody on like changing your life because I know how it works. So what I would say is, hey guys, whatever it is, you're a salesperson. Whatever you do, you're a salesperson, and you better believe in that thing that you're selling. And man, that was one of the toughest ones in the world because it was a dark time for me to go to work.
So it's about finding your why and purpose.
Absolutely. So what do we got?
A lot of people are writing about getting workouts and combining work and family, and you know, I think combining family with everything is the main topic.
Guys, and this is an important one. We had a big conversation about this. Right now, social media, even what's happening right now, I had some real discussions on this, on, hey, there has to be time on this, but then there has to be time still skin to skin, flesh to flesh with your family, and I think that's some of the most important stuff. So make sure that you're carving that out, because if you're not carving out that quality time, it's going to be way more difficult to be successful. And if you want any more answers on that, last week I talked about the virtuous versus vicious cycle with your family. Check that one out on the last episode of The Big Idea, and I think I really cover that one in detail as well. But I think, look what we're all talking about there, and this is what I want, guys. I always want the interaction of sharing. Look at some of the most tough things to get our workout in and get our time with our family. Well, here's one thing I can promise you, guys. Start making sure where you spend your time. What are you getting used to? If you're getting used to just scrolling through Snapchat all day long and looking what everybody's doing, set a time limit on that. If you're scrolling through your emails all day long and then you say you don't have time to balance with your family, guys, you really need to take a look at that, because I will say this, I'm busy, guys. I'm busy with a lot of people reaching out all the time, but I make sure that the things are scheduled and always have time, because I want my kids to be used to me being around. Boom.
Yeah, boom.
Knowledge bomb just been dropped. Brought to you by TFW in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this one, like I'll always say at the end, share it. So if you enjoyed this, hit the share button right now. Let somebody else see it, because you know somebody else can benefit from this information, because I'm only going to bring the positive stuff, and that's only going to help somebody to be more. And that's the best gift you could give somebody on a Friday. Now, last but not least, hey guys, if you enjoy these, if you enjoy spending 15 or 20 minutes with me on a Friday, guys, you cannot imagine what spending 2 or 3 days straight is. And I've got a bunch of coaching greatness events and Training for Warriors certifications coming up around the globe. So check those out. Check that schedule out at trainingforwarriors.com. Almost 5,000 people have gone through the course. It's your turn. And I'm telling you, if you think these help stimulate your mind, wait till you see it in person, which I can't wait to get a chance to coach you. So, do we got anything else? Some parting remarks?
People are going crazy about the family and familia, and you know, I think it's their message that, hey, this Friday you spend some time with your family.
Guys, we call it Familia Friday at Training for Warriors, so maybe you ought to spend some time with your family right now too. So remember, we pulled out something important right there. Keep commenting below. Give me some more ideas. So remember, I want to see your comments, where you're coming in from in the world, and what's something tough that you overcame that's positive, and how you did it, because that'll help everybody else. So the big idea this week, the big idea, light bulb busting off, is you show me or tell me what you're used to, and I'll tell you where you've been spending your time and where you're going. And if that answer scares you, it's time for a change. And how do you change that? How do you change that? You take on something new, kapow. Then you change how you think about it in your brain, kapow. Then it's time to spend some time and some effort. That's all it takes, time and effort, and you could learn anything. And why? Why? Because Yoda says that's why. But you got to make sure you're choosing the right thing. So remember, you got a choice. It could be tequila shots tonight, or it could be a workout and spending time with your family. Hey, that decision is up to you, but I think you know the right one. And then finally, when it's time to do it right now. And hey, because it's either use it or lose it, or even worse, or even better, you could have a use it and lose it. So do the right thing and the bad habits go away. So this is Martin Rooney. I'm going to be signing off from North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina with the big idea. And guys, looking forward to reaching out to everybody below. Thanks for joining for this episode. Yeah.